Hello. Today we'll discuss what is logistic regression. Logistic regression is used for predictive analytics. One of the application of logistic regression is classification problems. In these problems, the response variable takes the discrete value. For example, a company wants to know whether the customer is good customer or bad customer. Banks wants to know whether the customer will pay back his loan or no. There are other examples like whether the student will pass in the examination or not. So the discrete values can be yes or no, pass or fail, success or failure, or zeros and one. So with the help of explanatory variable or predictor, you can predict the values of your outcome. So when the outcome values can be only two, that is yes or no, or zeros and one, it is called as the binomial logistic regression. But when the values are more than two, it is called as the multinomial logistic regression. You can use any variable in these calculations. Also, one of the important feature of classification problem is that it uses logarithmic function, that is logit, which is basically a logarithmic probability unit.
Here is the table uh, with data points. This table talks about the details of certain movies and the parameters here, the variables here are box office collection, number of leads, male, number of leads, female, genre of the movie, budget, YouTube views it received, YouTube likes, YouTube dislikes, and gender of director. I converted the gender into the course. For example, here one indicates male and two indicates female directors. Now, as we are working on logistic regression, where the output variables comes into zeros and one, I have converted the success of this movie as whether it's a hit or flop. That means hit is equal to one and flop is equal to zero. So I have taken a box office collection as an indicator for deciding whether it's a hit or flop. If the data has been given, you can directly use it. If data is not given, you have to convert the output variable into zeros and one. Uh, Here, I put a formula for deciding it's a hit movie or flop movie, as if the box office collection is more than 100 crores or the budget is or it's four times the budget, then it's called as the hit movie. Always remember, it's compulsory to convert the output variables into zeros and one. If the data is not there, you have to work it on. Now coming to the application of logistic regression and how we are going to use it in the Excel. For that, you should have a add-in which has to be installed in your Excel. If not, you can install the real statistics as an add-in. So I already installed it. You can check on Google how to install the add-in called as real statistics. So click here on add-ins. It will come as real statistic here. Select data analysis tools. And then there are various options. Under that, I'm going to work on logistic regression. So just click on regression here. And under that, we are going to work on logistic and probit regression. So you have to click on OK. Here we have to add the input range. Always make sure that the last column of your input range should be the discrete variables, right? Zeros and one that you are going to work on. That means the last column of data points here should be always with the whether it's a hit or flop movie. Okay, and other variables are your independent variables, which has to be numerical. Okay, so currently for this particular output of zeros and one, I want to select budget, YouTube views, YouTube likes, YouTube dislikes, and gender director as the variables. And I'll select all the variables here. Okay. Now here we have column headings included with the data. So I am clicking it here. If you want to hide the ROC table, you can hide. We'll see. If you want, if I don't want it, you can just keep it here. And alpha level is 0.05, the significance level. classification cutoff by default is 0.5. If you want to change, you can change it. The output range you can change. Suppose I want the output range here. Click it here. Output range I want it here in O. And you have to just click on OK. Sorry, I have not included the column M in the input range. So here we have to add column M. So here go to budget and click on fill. Now it's from column H to column M, and the last column is basically your output variable that is in zeros and ones. And click on OK. It will give the logistic regression as well as it will give the ROC curve. We'll come to ROC curve later, but now here see the regression equation. Okay. Here you will get a coefficient of regression equation. So it means that your whether it's a hit or flop movie depend upon these factors. The intercept is minus 4.1. The coefficient of budget is 0.03. The coefficient of YouTube views are minus 3.3, 10 raised to 7, minus 7. YouTube likes are 0.0003. YouTube dislikes are 0.0008, and gender of director is 0.5. So they are the coefficient of these variables. Okay? You can actually calculate the regression equation as y equal to intercept plus budget into coefficient, YouTube into coefficient, plus YouTube likes into coefficient, plus YouTube dislikes into coefficient, plus gender into coefficient. Okay? This is how you can calculate the logistic regression. Now another indicator, that is p-value. Now if you know that yes, if the p-value is less than 0.05, it is considered as the significant factor in impacting output. So if you compare here, budget has the value which is less than 0.05, and YouTube likes has the value which is less than 0.05. This indicates that these are the two major variables which are impacting your output variables. So with the help of this, we can actually find out the logistic regression for the particular output variable. Now we'll see the classification table. It is also called as confusion matrix or error matrix. Now see this table carefully. On the y-axis, there are values zeros and 1, and on x-axis there are values zeros and 1. The 1 indicates success and 0 indicates failure. So it's basically a comparison between the predicted values and the actual values. Now see the first quadrant, that is left hand side top corner. It indicates that if the actual value is 1 and you predicted as 1, okay, the actual value is 1 and you predicted as 1, it is called as a true positive. Okay? If the actual value is 0 and you predicted it as 1, it is called as a false positive. Okay? Similarly, if the actual value is 1 and you predicted as 0, it is called as a false negative. And if the actual value is 0 and you predicted as 0, it is called as a true negative. So this confusion matrix actually gives you various indicators. Now you must have studied statistics in which you can explain here what is a type 1 error and type 2 error. So we try to see how these values, actual and predicted values, are going to help us in predicting whether our the logistic regression is correct or not. Okay, we'll see the efficiency of the logistic regression by understanding this confusion matrix. Now there are various parameters on which you can check it. That is called as sensitivity, specificity, and precision. Okay. What basically sensitivity means? Sensitivity is how you classify the model as positive when it is considered when it is actually a positive. Okay. The formula for that is sensitivity is equal to true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. Okay, that is how you can calculate the sensitivity, and it is the ability of a model to correctly classify the positives and negatives. Okay, so when you correctly classify positive, it is called sensitivity, and when you correctly classify negatives, it is called as the specificity. Okay, so this is the formula for sensitivity. Now, similarly, we have a formula for specificity. Okay, it is given as true negative divided by true negative plus false positive. It's basically ability of a diagnostic to correctly classify the test as negative when the disease is not present. So it's mostly used in medical science, but you can also use it in any of the logistical regression to explain how efficiently you have explained the true negative when it is actually a negative values. So we see this specificity and accuracy and sensitivity through the confusion matrix that we created through the Excel. Here we see a classification table at this particular point. So here we see observed success and observed failure as compared to the predicted success and predicted failure. Now you see the numbers in this table, which says that there are 14 observations which are actually success and you predict it as success. Okay, so those are 14. There are 2 observations which are actually a failure and but you predicted it as a success, that is 2. There are 12 observations which are actually a success but you predicted it as a failure, and there are 121 observations which are failure and you predicted correctly as a failure. Now, on the basis of this, you can calculate the specificity, sensitivity, and accuracy of the model. We'll see that. In this classification table, we'll see how you calculate the specificity and sensitivity. So, the formula for specificity or we'll see first sensitivity and then we also see accuracy. The formula for sensitivity is equal to true positives divided by true positive plus false negative. Okay, is equal to 0.5384. So this is this number. So when you talk about the accuracy parameters, you can check it. This number is for the sensitivity. Coming to the specificity, which is given by true negative divided by true negative plus false positive. Please enter. You get a specificity of 0.98, which is this number. Okay. And coming to a third parameter called as accuracy, which is basically how many true positives and true negatives you have predicted out of a total observation. So which is given by total of true positives plus true negatives divided by total observation, that is 149. So which is 0.90. So the 3 numbers below the classification table indicate that how effectively you predicted the true positives of total positives. The specificity indicate that how effectively your model predicted the negatives out of total negatives, and accuracy predicts the total of true positives and true negatives out of total observation. So these are the 3 indicators for your model. The another indicator for your model is your ROC table. Now, you see here the ROC table, ROC curve. Okay. Now, what this curve actually indicates? This curve basically a curve between true positive rate, which is on y-axis, and false positive rate, which is on x-axis. The curve which is above a diagonal line is considered to be the good curve. Okay, so a diagonal line which connects from this point till this point. Okay, so anything which is above this line considered as good, and this curve indicate that what overall efficiency of your model. Higher the curve is considered to be the better accuracy or better model. The ideal curve basically runs from this point 0 to 1 and goes straight from this point. But that is an idealistic situation which may not be possible in reality. But this higher ROC curve will indicate a better model. Okay. The another indicator which considered as AUC, that is area under the curve. So if this is the curve, you can find out the total area under this particular curve. Okay. So higher area in the curve indicates the good model. We can actually see the total amount or what is the total area which is given under the curve below the classification matrix. Okay, so you can see here the AUC is 0.83. If the value of AUC is more than 0.7, the model is considered to be the very good model. Anything above 0.7, okay. If the AUC curve is below 0.5, in that case, you have to relook at the model and you have to relook at which are the variables that you have selected. There's another indicator called as cutoff point here, which basically tells you how you define the failures and success. You can actually change this cutoff point, and you can see the variation in the classification table. Okay, you can change it. You can actually manipulate this table by changing the cutoff point. But if you see, even though you are changing the cutoff point, there is no impact onto your AUC. That means the ROC curve remains constant. This indicates that the ROC curve is completely dependent upon which are the factors that you consider for evaluation, okay, and not onto the cutoff point. Okay. Coming back to again 0.5. So like this. So whenever you want to decide whether the specificity is important for you or sensitivity is important for you, you can accordingly adjust your cutoff point. Many of the companies do such kind of calculations to show a higher profit or lower profit. That depend upon the objective that the company wants to prove. Okay. So these are about the logistic regression, in which case we discuss which are the coefficient of logistic regression, the importance of p-value here, okay, and then we also discuss the classification table along with the three indicators: sensitivity, specificity, and accuracy. We also discussed the ROC curve and cutoff point and AUC. For more, if you want more information about this model, please write back to me in the comment section.